Welcome to episode 4 of EL-MARCOS-SABE podcast. Today we got a special guest. My boy Nick is here today.
Say welcome to the podcast.
I appreciate you.
Thanks for coming.
Mm-hmm.
So, since it is June and it is Pride Month, I thought I'd bring Nick here to talk about some things, kind of see his perspective on things, and compare them to our perspective on things. I guess about like what's going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of have an honest conversation about like how we feel about things and what he thinks, because obviously I know there's some things that we probably can agree on and there's some things that we don't agree on.
Mm-hmm.
But first, I'll let Nick, kind of introduce himself, and that way you guys know who he is.
Hey everyone, I'm Nick. I'm actually really close friends with Marcos, his wife. That's how I met Marcos, and me and him came basically like brothers. Been part of the LGBT community, came out when I was in high school. Just started kind of realizing the feelings and emotions of it when I was in middle school, and it was still kind of just brand new because we're all kids then, so it's like, what are these feelings, what are these emotions? So it's been a journey coming out, getting to know people who are out, who are against me, who are with me. So I'm glad that Marcos and Jake are here having this conversation, so that way we can share perspectives. I get their point of view, they can hear our point of view, and like our fight, every day with everything that's going on in the world. And yeah.
So first thing I want to ask is, how hard was it like for you to come up, or how confident were you like that everybody would, or that your parents would be fine with it, or?
So it's kind of two-part. So in middle school, it was kind of like 7th grade when I was just like, okay, guys are cute, is when I was like, okay, this is how I'm feeling and everything too. So one of my friends in middle school was kind of having the same feelings towards girls. So me and her kind of started that bond that way, and I was like more responding that way. And then in high school, there was a guy's phone that I was talking to, or a guy I was talking to, and his name was on my phone, and my mom would always be like, "Is it your boyfriend?" And I would just deny it. Like, no, that's not him, it's my friend. Mm-hmm. Like, deny it, because I didn't want the drama, I didn't want the chaos. It was just too much. And then just one day we were driving to McDonald's, and she saw the name again and was like, "Is it your boyfriend?" And I was just like, "Yes." And that was me coming out.
And what'd she say?
She's like, "I was expecting that answer," and I'm like, "Well, let's
you keep asking.
That's what I'm giving you.
You keep asking. I gotta say something now.
Yeah. Was it something that was hard for you, or you just something that you just wanted to let him know right away so he can get out of it?
I wanted to know because at the time I was taking the guy serious, and like kind of like who you are and who you want to come in high school.
Yeah.
So at that time I was just like, okay, I'll just say it, rip the band-aid off, and we'll get it done. After I said it, I was like, oh man, she's gonna tell my dad, my dad's gonna tell this person, he's gonna tell that person, it's gonna like go out of control, it's gonna be a thing. It wasn't. My parents were like, okay, cool, you love yourself, anybody disrespect you, you let us know, we'll have your back.
I'm sure life was definitely easier once you were able to show who you are and not try to hide it anymore.
Yes and no, it was easier immediate family wise.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
My mom and dad were truly accepting. My brothers were like, if anybody messes with you too, let us know. We have your support system. It was when it got more to like the outside of the family that people were just like, making comments and like putting me down and stuff like that. So you lose some family. I think that's anything in life where you're just like, I'm not who you guys want me to be, and that's okay because you have to be your own person at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't wish them ill, even though things that happened were kind of terrible. You just have to say, you know what, this is who this person is. This is their view. I don't want this in my life.
Yeah.
And just move on from that.
No, I don't know. That just seems really tough because, like you said, you don't know how people react,
Mm-hmm.
and like that's why I was like in the last podcast I was talking about family, like, hey, that sucks, they should just accept you, because at the end of the day, it's not like you didn't change who you are. That's just who you were the whole time.
You were the whole time, and you're just trying to let them know, so
and you gain confidence.
Yeah, you can be on the same page,
and what's nice too is I feel like when I came out and my family got to know like, okay, Nick is gay, I feel like a lot more of my cousins, were able to like be who themselves are, because my dad's nephew is gay too, and we all grew up in the same family, and he has his husband here too. Husband's great, nothing changed about who my cousin is. He has a husband now too. We have extended family. And then even on my grandpa's side too, there's a couple more, and like, they're doing really good, business-wise, supporting the community too.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're doing it in a positive light, whereas sometimes people just do it and tear someone down.
Like,
that's awesome.
In my family specifically, I know my sister's gay, and I have a cousin, I have a lot of family that not a lot, but I mean, I have family members that, you know, are gay or, you know, are in the LGBTQ community and stuff. And, you know, sometimes I do, like, I talk to them, like, especially, like, my sister, because, I mean, obviously we're close. But I'll talk to her about stuff like kind of explaining how I feel about, like, gay people and lesbians, which to me, I've never had a problem with. You know, I've never, like, felt weird about, like, a gay dude or a lesbian or anything like that, you know, but like a conversation that I always have with her is about like the trans community, you know, like you're not necessarily that I'm anti-trans or anything like that, but it's more of there has to be like boundaries, you know what I'm saying? Like there has to be like be who you want to be. Okay, that's fine, but at the same time, I feel like I told you the other day when it comes to like if you're a dude or if a dude turns into a girl and it looks just like a girl, and like you can't even tell that it was like he was ever a dude, and then he gets with a guy and doesn't tell him first, like right off the bat, you know, that I'm trans or something, and you know lets him catch feelings or whatever. Yeah. And then you know at the end tells him and expects him to be okay with it. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, like honestly, it's like, dude, like I thought you were a girl. That's why I'm with you.
And the big thing too is like deceit's never okay, no matter what the situation is. You shouldn't deceive somebody and be deceitful to any capacity. The issue with it from being, you know, on the queer side of things too, is we were always told, like basically like in the military, don't ask, don't tell. And now with how much, you know, hate and how much murders are happening towards trans and drag queens and gays in general, everyone's like, if I don't say anything, they won't peep anything, I'm safe. So that's why it's like kind of, it's a double-edged sword where it's just like, you should tell that person like you're pursuing, like, hey, I'm trans, you know, this is like, you know, my background and everything too, because then you can build an honest relationship with them.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, any relationship, you want to start off right off the bat, like, you know, and be honest. Because, like I said, I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna like. It's messed up, you know, that there's so much hate and they are like killing them, just right now for no reason. Is like dumb, you know. And then, but like I said, at the same time, I mean, there's so much. I feel like they're so out there as far as like promoting. Like I told you, like. I feel like gay people and like lesbians, they never try to make it to where, hey, you know, like, hey, let's teach this in school or let's do this, you know, like, let's, you know, pretty much like I told you, the pride flag was made to kind of like say, you know what, like this represents us. And like I told you, I've seen videos of like gay people talking about it, saying like this flag was meant for gay people, you know, it wasn't meant for like the way the trans are using it for, you know, like we got this so that we could have like our own legislation in a way, I guess, but like, you know, separate ourselves from the rest of the world. And I think I think the reason so many people are against the trans isn't necessarily because they're trans, you know, or, you know, it's more of like, obviously, like if they trick a dude into thinking they're a girl or they trick a girl into thinking they're a dude or whatever, and then the fact that they want to educate it so much to kids, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's the biggest thing is you should just let a kid decide what they want to be, you know, like, or if they're gay, lesbian, whatever, you know, let them figure that out in their life, you know, like you figure it out. You say, you know what, like I am who I am. Like nobody forced it on you, you know, and that's the biggest thing.
That's a good thing. Like I'm glad you brought that up too, because I think the message is like you said, like figure out who you want to be who you are. And I think that's the general message. I think that a lot of times the mark is missed when it's delivered. And that's the issue. It's like a lot of times people are thinking it's just like about sexuality, and it's like no. It's like if we were in, you know, all in kindergarten together too. Like our parents are like, hey, be nice to the kid.
Yeah, for sure.
That's basically it is. Basically, we're doing it like on a bigger scale as adults. We're trying to say, hey, just be kind to this person who may appear different than you, but you don't know what battle like internally they're going through, what they're going through at home. Just be kind, even if you don't have to like them or whatever. Just like if you don't like them, leave them alone.
Yeah, for sure. It's almost, how can I say it? It's almost become like the new. How can you say, like
the new norm kind of thing?
The new norm, and not just that, but it's almost worse than racism, bro. Like it really, it's almost to that point, you know, where it's like so.
It's because every day they're just being where everybody's just being their own person at the end of the day, and I think it's wrong for someone to judge someone just by who they are rather than what they do. You know what I mean? And if that's who you are, then that's who I am. That's whoever next person is. That's I think that's all that matters. You should not be judged on anything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of a weird thing. Like I always thought, like I always thought it was messed up. People would just target people for no reason. There's not even a good reason to target anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know, especially if they're gay or lesbian. They're trying to be who they are. And I think that's important in life, that you don't want to drag someone down just because you don't agree with it. It's their decision. It's their choice and all that, and that's who they are. You know what I mean? So, and at the end of the day, I think we're all just in equal parts. You know what I mean? So that's why I kind of agree with, saying that's kind of been a norm that people are hating on it, but it shouldn't be like that. I don't think it should be like that. I think it's kind of messed up because, just seeing everybody, just like you said, have struggles, problems, going through it every day, financially, relationship, no relationships. I mean, they're different, but it's not like they're different. It's a relationship at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
And what's also scary too is my mom sent me an article this morning about I forgot what group it is, but they're like flagging it as like a what's the word for it? I forgot the word. Basically like a state of emergency for LGBT community because like we're being targeted so much, our rights are being taken away. Governors are letting hospitals basically deny us care or anything too based on their religious beliefs.
See, that's crazy.
But it's like our country, if you do your history and actually pay attention, our country isn't founded on Christian beliefs, and like we're literally supposed to be a melting pot of everything. So like, that's why everybody comes here, and like with immigrants too, like people, they come here to make a better life because they're like, hey, we want to get ahead because where we're at right now, we're not having the best quality of life. So it's like we're here, we're like, okay, cool, we're in the free land. We should be able to go to a bar or a club, dance the night with our friends, have good drinks, enjoy a good time, and not have to worry about someone coming in with a semi-automatic rifle and killing, a dozen of us.
That's true.
We shouldn't have to go to the hospital and say like, hey, like I need care because I feel ill or anything too, like whether it be cancer, STIs, whatever that is, and they get denied treatment just because the doctor's like, oh well, I'm this religion, I don't believe in who you are, so I'm not gonna care for you, and it kind of sucks that we have to remind people how to be a human. Yeah. Like, why can't I just go to you and say, hey, this is the problem?
Because I think the biggest thing is being human is caring for someone else. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what being human is. You know what I'm saying?
Like, just knowing who everybody is in life. Everyone's trying to do their own thing. It's like I said before. You just can't be angry or be mad at someone just for your own. You know what I mean? It just I don't know. I don't agree with a lot of stuff either. A lot of the shootings. I know we had a big shooting here. What was it last year? Yeah. That was horrible. And who would think? You know what I mean? That someone just walk in just because of what they don't believe in. You know what I mean? It's horrible to think like that.
That's the worst thing about it.
Yeah. And what's crazy too is people don't realize like that has that shooting alone affected everything else. That's not even like designated to LGBT communities.
Yeah, that's true.
My friend had a concert a couple weeks ago too, and now they have a no back policy, all because that shooting happened. So it's not just because you guys act up here that it's impacting just the gay community. It's not trickling to everybody. So it's like now we have to be more precautious, and it's like, what's the hate for?
I know, right?
Like we could just all just go like, hey, if you don't like somebody, who cares?
Yeah, just like anybody else. You know, everything you do in life, you don't like something, just all right, just go do something else.
One thing though, like I told you again, like referring back to schools, like as far as like, I guess, how can I say it? Like I said, as far as it goes, like educational wise, like I mean, if I'm being honest with you, I don't feel like it's something you should like teach in school. I think, like I said, you should let anybody just be themselves. Like if they want to be, let them be. And what you should teach in schools is more of, don't be judgmental. If someone chooses to, if like I said, even if a dude decides to wear a dress one day or something, like teach your students, hey, let them, if that's what they want to be, that's what they want to be. And I'm talking about like once they're in middle school or high school, because that's when I feel like kids in general actually start learning about themselves. They know what they want. You know what I'm saying? Because like I told you, there was this incident in a high school. I think it was like in Wisconsin or Michigan or something, but like where an 18-year-old trans, who was like, it was a male who identified as a girl. He was an 18-year-old senior that he went into the girls' locker room with like 3 14-year-old girls and went in there to shower and like took off his clothes and everything and showed a bunch of his like male genitals there. Yeah. And like that kind of stuff is like why you kind of like, there has to be some type of boundaries there too, because I mean, though he identifies as a girl, he still has male parts, and that kind of is,
And that's kind of just like us how we were raised, like keep, you know, the gender separate because like
yeah.
likes basically we're doing laundry too. So that I can understand too. And plus 18 with a 14-year-old.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. But that's what I'm saying is, like, as much as they want to, like transsexuals, they're pretty much fighting with, like, in a way, what gay and lesbians are for a long time. Like, just like I just want to be accepted. But it's like, okay, but gay and lesbians, like, I feel like they got accepted. I'm not gonna say faster, but they got accepted more because, like I said, they just wanted their freedom. Like, they weren't saying, like, hey, like, we want you guys to to represent us in this way, or like to teach about us in school, like nothing like that, or you know, hey, let us come and talk to these kids about this stuff. No, because like now I hear about like presentations of like at schools of like transsexual people coming in actually telling like kid or like speaking to kids about like, hey, you know, if you feel like this, or like, okay, like you could talk to them about what you are, like, but my thing is like, don't push it on them. Don't, you know, like, don't try to manipulate them. Let them be kids, you know. And then I don't know. Like I said, it's just, to me, how gay people and lesbians are is completely different to how trans are, you know. Because you guys, like I said, as far as the gay community, I feel like they don't force or push it on anybody. Because like, I know people like, I don't care. Like I said, when I saw you at the casinos, I didn't care, bro. You're my boy. I'm gonna say what's up to you. I don't care. But my thing is like, you've never made it feel like, how I say, like uncomfortable, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I know you're gay, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, you've told me about like your boyfriend and stuff, but you've never made it to where I'm like, hey babe, I don't know if I want Nick to come over again, you know? Like, he did this or something, you know? Like you got into the point where, or you've learned, I guess, or you probably always knew, but you know, how to act, I guess, in front of people. Not necessarily act, I won't say, but you know, obviously you act different with my girl and like, let's say like her sister rather like than with us, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, because Sylvia, I've been knowing her since we were like in kindergarten, so it's like 23 years of friendship.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
And then when I get real bent wrist, we'll say, it's real girly. So
yeah.
Than
no, for sure.
I'm just like, okay, the guys kind of act like, you know, a little different, so you kind of just like read the room.
Yeah,
and
no, for sure.
Figure out who you're with and make sure everybody's comfortable. Because I wouldn't want to be put in a room with a bunch of straights. I'm only a gay kid, and I feel completely comfortable. I don't want to be there. I feel misplaced. My mental, you know, at the same time.
Because we could be talking about girls, and you're just like okay, like.
I would judge you and be like,
you
could do better.
But,
I
you know what I'm saying? But we could be like, man, that girl's like so hot or this and that.
And I think that's the tough part is like, I put my queerness, we'll say, on display in different ways.
Yeah.
Like I do my nails, I have my bags, like I wear some fit clothing, like that's my presentation of, this is my queerness.
Yeah.
But when I still go to work, respect me as a professional man. When I'm around my family, respect me as a human being. Like it's
for sure.
Person. But to go back to what you were saying, it's crazy how the trans getting so pushed away from, you know, the gays and lesbians, everything too, when all of our movements did start from a trans woman. Like trans women are the reason why we were fighting for gay rights and everything too. Marsha P. Johnson was the one who started it, and Stonewall. Like back, and that's when, you know, we were fighting for our movement. Yeah. So it's kind of disheartening, like in the gay community, that we're trying to push the trans away. Like I know they have a thing where it's like the LGB without the T.
Oh, yeah. You think are they trying to go away from the LGBT, like? You know what I mean?
They're trying to distance themselves from the trans. I think one, because it's easier, and I think like anything in life, it's easier to stay away from things that have a lot of heat on them and like a target on their back. It's real easy because you're like, this is chaotic. I could just be over here at peace. Don't disturb the waters. What's kind of just unfortunate, like in our world, is like for minorities, we just always have to constantly fight, constantly prove ourselves, constantly get our rights, and everything too. So when we distance ourselves, it's like, okay, cool, we're good, but we don't care about you guys. You guys gotta still fight your own. And I don't think that's good community, because it's like, okay, they helped start this movement for us. Yeah. How are we just gonna jump ship when they're still trying to fight for their own? Like we should be there supporting them. And some of my friends all the time too, like trans people are trans people. Leave them alone. Yeah. Like it's like anything else we said earlier. Like if you don't like them, who cares? But I would like to see the gay and lesbian community go back to supporting the trans people and say, hey, you know, we're in this fight with you still. Yeah. Like, we're not done. And it's just like, like immigration, like I don't have any immigrants in my family, personally, but if I hear, people talking about their family, like they're immigrants, everything too, okay, cool, what support and what resources they need? Like, how can I be, some kind of help to them? So I think also too, it's also helpful when people who are outside the community, you don't even have to go like that extra mile to say, hey, you know what, leave them alone. Like you see a gay kid picked on or something about it, just leave them alone. Like goes a lot further than just sitting by and letting them either be attacked because you don't know like what it's doing to their mental health and everything too. And I think that helps center all of us because we all are going through something mentally in different levels, but then we don't know what could be that person's breaking point to either harm themselves, harm to other.
That's the thing is, that's why I always told him too, and I tell the kids too, like don't ever like make fun of the bum and or like the kid that that doesn't have as much as you in class or comes in dirty every day or something. You don't know what they're going through at home. What I'm saying?
Or internally or externally.
Because my little brother like a year ago, and I think he was in school or something, and I got mad at him because my mom told me about it because I guess he was making fun of a little girl that she like was kind of like dirty or something. I remember going back, I went to my parents' house, and as soon as I got in there, I just went straight to his face, like, hey, I was like, why the hell you making fun of the little girl? And he wouldn't tell me nothing. I was like, dude, you don't know what people go through, so don't ever, like, I was like, and I'm like, just so you guys know, Max, he's only 10 years old. I'm talking to him like a grown-ass adult, bro. I'm like, bro, you don't talk about people, dude. You don't know what's going on at home, you know what I'm saying? She might not have the life that you have. She might not be able to go eat what she wants in the fridge the way you do, or she doesn't have video games like you do. She might not have her own room. I was like, you can't be doing that shit, dude. Like, don't be talking, don't ever, like, judge somebody just because he's like, oh, it's because all the kids were making. No, I don't give a damn if the other kids were making fun of her. Do you defend her? You say something to them because that's not cool. Like,
try to be the.
And the little girl, he's like that the little girl was crying. I'm like, yeah, bro, you don't know what she's going through at home. Maybe this is her way of getting away from what's going on at home, and you just ruined it even more for her. Like, people don't understand. Like, some people that actually like school, it's more to get away from the situation at home for 8 hours a day, like they don't want to be there dealing with whatever the hell's going on. And you learn from different people that you meet. It's like, it's not all, how you say it? It's not all sunny days and at their house like the way it is at yours or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, bro. People who have a rough ass time.
Yeah, and you just never know what anyone goes through, so it's not fair to attack someone just because, like you said, they wear wrong shoes one day, or they don't have the nicest backpack or the cleanest clothes on, you know what I mean? They're just like, no, everybody has their own thing. Everybody's going through their own, either, like I said, personal or external challenges in life, So I feel like going through that, especially in school, it's a big challenge and a big growth that we all have to go through, you know what I mean? And it kind of reflects when you're going to get an adult, because adults do it just in different ways, but we're all adults at the end of the day. We know better. We know what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
So when adults act like that, I feel like it's not, you know what I mean? It's not weird. It's just weird, It's just not right, So.
And that's why I tell people, like, appreciate if someone just shows up. Like, even like kids too, because like kids, and even in my family too, like there's been kids too who've just like gone through a lot with their parents. And they're babies. They're not even 5 yet, and they already haven't been exposed to so much. And it's like, you see them running around, they're just so happy, and it's just like, I want you to live in that moment, like just stay there and be happy.
True. Yeah.
But then as we get older, we get mad, like, at work if someone doesn't do something or someone doesn't show up or they're late, and it's like, everyone goes through everything. So it's like, if they show up, thank you for showing up and being in the person that you are today. Because you could have been in a situation where we could be like either remembering you,
that's true,
or we could call somebody has to search for you or something like that too. So it could be a lot different.
Yeah. No, for sure. And it's just, like I said, there's just so many different problems in the world, dude. Like, with, like, immigrants right now, even, like, in Florida, you know what I'm saying? Like, them, literally just because they don't have papers, it's just, they could pull you over and send you back, you know what I'm saying? If that's, like, that, to me, that's crazy.
It was like that in Arizona for a bit, wasn't it?
Yeah. But even, like, that's just crazy. In general, like, even, like, you as a minority, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, even you, like, I'm sure if a cop pulls you over, you're probably like, oh shit, like, I gotta do everything he says.
I got my first ticket, and I don't know, like, if it was just like natural instinct for like being a minority, but it's like you literally have to tell them your next move in order to be safe.
Yeah,
and it's the craziest thing, because it's like, okay, it was like, I was speeding. I will admit, I did admit I was speeding, and that's also, but like, rolled out all my windows. My windows are tinted, so he could see in the car. And I was like, my license is in my bag. Can I open my bag? Can you flash your light in here so we were both safe?
Yeah,
and he was like, yeah, sure. Didn't want like any issues, no situations because it was dark outside. It's nighttime. He's the only officer.
Yeah.
So if anything could have happened, he could have spun that around, and that would just be another statistic.
Yeah.
And so that's like when I'm like so big on like, you know, when Pride Month comes around, I'm like, everyone be as queer as you possibly can if you are. If you're a lesbian, if you're gay, bisexual, trans, whatever you identify as, be that to the fullest because we're constantly getting our rights taken away. We're always scared, and everybody tells me too, like, oh, when you go here, be careful. And I'm like,
yeah,
I'm an actual gay kid. Like, I have 3 targets on me as it is.
Yeah, it shouldn't be like that.
So like when I go outside from like high school to now, I'm like, I still have those 3 targets on my back. They can pick whichever issue they want with me. But in Pride Month, I'm just like, you know what? I want to donate to, you know, my queer organizations, make sure that I'm posting these resources on my social medias, and making sure like if there's a kid who doesn't feel comfortable being themselves, they get an image of somebody who is comfortable in themselves to say, hey, you know what? Eventually, I want to work towards that to get myself to feeling comfortable who I am.
That's good. Yeah.
I think once, like, what I've seen is once like a gay kid or like a lesbian, they kind of, or when they finally come out, I guess it's such a relief to them. But I guess like the way things go from that point, from when they like actually, you know, come out, like the way the reaction is from people. What happened? Oh, sorry. Did it pause?
I think so. There we go.
Oh,
Okay.
so anyway, sorry.
We'll jump
But
back to that.
anyways, like once they come out, I think if the the reaction from like even their parents determines how they're gonna go about it. So like, let's say you came out, but your parents were like, nah, Nick, nah. You probably would have been like, you know what, like, let me portray myself the way my parents want to see me. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I'm not saying just you, but I'm saying people in general. Just like, if their parents didn't accept them, nah, you're a boy, do this. You like girls, that's it. You're probably gonna portray it, even though you like everything they just said, like you don't agree with, like you want to be who you want to be. You're gonna be like, you know what, like it's easier to make my parents happy by just being what they want me to be, and you know, I'll live 2 lives. Here, this is how I'm gonna be around them, but when I'm out, this is how I'm gonna be. But you know, as soon as I come home, I gotta make sure I look the part, because if not, you know, who knows how they're feeling, you know.
And that's a good like reason why a lot of people don't come out until they're like kids or adults. So like they do the lifestyle like how their parents live for them. They have the kids, raise the kids, get them off to college and everything too, become empty nesters, and they sit and realize, okay, I've been living a lie my entire life. Now I have kids. Now I'm in this marriage, and I gotta like figure my way out. Like, am I putting myself now, or do I just stick with this lie and just take it to my grave?
Yeah.
And it's.
Man, it sucks because some people do take it to the grave. They never really feel accepted in the world, and they just, you know, like they die like not even like happy with the life they had because they hid it for so long, you know, or they never really were able to be themselves, you know.
And I don't like that either, because it's like people, and I think that's why we advocate for like therapy and like leaning on people and more resources like that too. You don't have to please people.
Yeah.
And I think that's the issue too, is like we grow up in like, I don't know for you guys, but like I was kind of like raised up in like, my perception of it was like fear your parents. Like they're the ones that know everything, they know your right, they know your well-being, so you need to honor and respect them, whatever they say goes.
Yeah.
Which my parents did a great job of raising me and my brothers. 3 knucklehead boys, props to them. But with how I look at my friends who didn't have that same stuff, and my boyfriend too, whose dad is like, he laughs at the topic all the time. They kind of like rub you the wrong way, but I'm just like, that's him. I don't have to sit with the man, because I mean, that's his choice. I have my choice. I don't have to sit at the same table with him, break bread. But if something would ever happen to him because I'm with his son, I'd still give it respect.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not going to go out of my way to be like this, you know, ugly person to you because you don't like my community.
Yeah.
I don't know you from a hole in the wall at that point. I just got to respect you as a man, as a human, and that's it.
But that is kind of hard though too. I mean, that must be hard to bite your tongue though too, because you're just like, bro, like, accept your son and just, you know, just leave it alone, you know what I'm saying?
And what's crazy though too is like my boyfriend's in his 30s.
Oh shit.
So it's like he's been living on his own for like almost 10 years now. So it's like he's been out of your hair for a while.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that they just hold on to like what they want their kids to be well past out of their house. It's like, okay, like the birdie has flown the nest, left the nest. Let them figure it out and be happy and make sure. And like, if they're obviously messing up, like if they become like a drug addict, drug seller, whatever, step in and be, you know, how you feel. But if they're just living their life, making an honest living, working 9 to 5s,
like everybody else,
like everybody else,
like a normal, you know, and yeah, that's kind of seems like it'd be tough, you know, you try to not go at it, but at the end of the day, I think as long as you're happy and your boyfriend happy, I think that's all that matters. You know what I mean? Like that's what I kind of feel that you're saying that it's all that all it means if you're happy and that's it. You know what I mean?
It's almost like
your life. You know what I mean?
It's almost like a dude when they get their wife, you know, like their mom doesn't like the wife because like she's so used to being, you know, the only one in your life that take care of you and this and that. Now she in a way she has to hand you over to another girl, you know. It's just like even like us as like or a girl with their dude, like their dad might not like you because now now you're in her life and it's like, dude, like now you gotta do what her like pretty much provide for her everything that her dad did her whole life and stuff. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, like to me, like that kind of stuff, like your boyfriend being 30 and, you know, obviously being gay, it's like, dude, like at a point, that's exactly what I'm saying, like at a certain point, like that could be something that kills his relationship with his dad, and he's just like, you know what, like, dude, I've been trying for years, you know what, like, if you're not gonna accept me now, like, when are you ever gonna accept me, like, dude, if you know I've been gay or something, you know, like, you need to accept me eventually. Yeah. I mean, if it's not gonna happen now, when is it gonna happen?
And a big thing too, I think, for like humans in general, we always just seek some kind of sort of love, like in different variations, however that may be, like whether it be like a good friend, you know, parents, siblings, cousins, however it is, we always like want like a good person we seek love from. And I feel like a lot of times too, because parents are our first loves, that we're always trying to like make sure like, okay, are we doing right by them? Are we doing what they approve of and everything too? So in the gay community, when we're like shunned for being who we are, it's like, okay, we failed our parents. That's why we feel miserable. And it shouldn't have to be that way. Because if you don't love your kid, then why'd you have your kid? You know, you could have accepted your kids like a long time ago, hoped that they got into the, you know, loving hands, caring hands that they should have had, and they could be happy individuals, and you could have just went on your own path.
It's like, I mean, it's because it goes in like a lot of ways, because like, let's say, okay, if your kid comes out gay, like, it's your kid, you know, don't turn your back. If she turns lesbian, she's still your daughter, don't turn your back. It's like, if he turns out a bum, you know, that's still your kid, you should still want to help him. You know what I'm saying? If he becomes a druggie, whatever, alcoholic, and no matter how much you hate it, it's still your kid, you know what I'm saying? And regardless, I mean, that love needs to be there, you know, like, you can't just turn your back on your kid no matter what decisions they made in life. Because at the end of the day, like, whether they're gay or lesbian or now, like I said, alcoholic or, you know, a druggie, whatever, like I said, at the end of the day, they're your kid, like, you had them. So either accept them if they're gay or lesbian, or help them if they're going through some type of mental problems or something that you know, you can't just turn your back, like I said. I think that's why a lot of like gay people, lesbians, and just like the LGBT community, like, I hear of a lot of like suicides, and I think it's a lot of that, bro. Like, just more of, I mean, obviously you have to deal with the world not liking you, and at the same time, like, the world not liking you is already enough, but when your own family doesn't like you, I think that's just like the breaking point. You're just like, dude, like, okay, so if my family won't accept me, why should I expect the rest of the world to accept me? You know, like, it's easier just, you know, to end the year or something, you know, like, it's, people don't understand, like, I think the people that deal with the most mental health issues is like the LGBTQ community, because of all they have to deal with, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's not just being accepted by the world, but they could barely get accepted at home, so it's such a battle, you know, just with that.
And that's, I feel like because even I've done with mental health too, but like not from like immediate family, but you got to put like on like this front, like, okay, nothing's wrong, like I am like the modeled, you know, queer child that comes from the community. I'm good, don't worry about me. But then it's like deep inside, you're just like, everything's eating you up. And so I think with, you know, having to deal with the family and then like who you are as general in society, it eats you up really quick. And I think a lot of people just, you know, turn to, you know, suicide and self-harm, which sucks, and you know, rest of those angels, and hopefully their souls are, you know, flying high. And so that's why I always tell my people too, like, you are loved. even if they're not queer or anything too, I'm just like, you are loved, you're worth it, thank you for showing up today. Like, there's a lot more to it that can stem from outside of our community.
Yeah.
And then we can all come back as a community once we realize, like, hey, we can all care for each other in whatever facet we are.
No, for sure.
And I think that's good that you guys have a lot of support within the group. You know what I mean? So you guys have someone to lean on if, like you said, if it goes wrong within the family, you can go to your, to your friends or, your peers that are going through something similar, and you guys can grow with it together. I think that's really good in life, good in general.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's good
mean?
to have chosen family.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Does it mean more to you to I mean, I guess since you're gay, does it mean more to you when you make you become friends with like a straight dude that's just like whatever, like he doesn't judge you, he's just cool with you? Or
in high school, that wasn't my big thing because it was hard for me making guy friends because it was like a stigma, like, oh, he's gay, he's gonna like hit on me, and it's like,
yeah.
No, that's not what that means. Because I was like always hung with girls.
Yeah.
Like, just it was easier to hang with girls for me, and that's just what it was. But once I got older, started making guy friends, it felt better because then a lot of my friendships turned to like brotherhood.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I had like more like, okay, I'm more camaraderie, if I can say that word correctly, that'd be great. With someone I can actually talk guy to.
Yeah.
Because even though, I'm queer, I'm still a guy. Like,
Yeah,
I still
no,
check
for
with the
sure,
guy, have that, kind of bond and balance in my life. So I think now that I'm older, it means more. And necessarily, like, if I hang with straight guys, it's fine. Like, I don't feel like I'm out of place or I have to put on a front. I'm just like...
Have they ever put you in a situation where you felt like you're out of place? Or, like, have you ever been in a situation where, like, they started making jokes that you were just like, bro, like it's not a joke to me, you know what I'm saying?
That happened more in high school, just because the immaturity level was
no, for sure.
ridiculous
Yeah,
in high school. But I think like once we as kids got into the real world and saw like, okay, this is a big scary place where mom and dad can't protect us, so we just go home to our bedrooms and that's it.
Yeah.
A lot of it eased up. And like there were like some small jokes too, but like I like laughing at myself too.
Yeah.
Like I don't take myself seriously. I'm happy who I am, comfortable with who I am. So like when people crack jokes, I might jump in there and start joking with you.
Yeah.
But I mean there is still boundaries too, which some people will push and cross, and I'm like, okay, you need to
back up a little
bit so you don't get on the side of canceled because they will cancel you.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of people once they hear that, like, okay, ease up on that one. They're like, okay, I don't want to offend somebody like in public again. Can you like personally tell me like what it was that was way out of line?
Yeah.
And then we're receptive to that to learn, and that's what kind of helps them keep the relationships with the community too, and with me, of course.
Yeah, like I said, it's like in my family. I mean, like I said, I have gay cousins, lesbian cousins, but like I never feel like, I don't know. Like I said, I feel like the family. I mean, we know, even though like some of them haven't came out. We're just like, bro, or like it's cool, we're not gonna change. But at the end of the day, you're still my cousin, you're still my, whatever, like my sister's just my sister no matter what, and it's like whatever you decide with your life, that's your life, you know what I'm saying?
So I gotta ask you. So in my family, and I want to see if your family does this too. They'll come to me and be like, hey, so I got a question, and then immediately my mind goes straight to, okay, so I'm about gay, and they'll like ask me, they're like, okay, so like. Such and such is doing like this, and they're mad at or that, and they're ordering these things. Are they gay? And I'm just like, I don't know. Like, ask them. Are they ready to come out or anything too? Does your family do that? Like, or like, do you guys like go to like the token gay person of the family?
I think my family is more direct. Just ask. I was just like, they're just
direct. Like, so are you?
They're just direct. Like, okay, they're not gonna sugarcoat it. They're just gonna ask you straight up.
Yeah.
But then I mean, like I said, there's certain things that you just you know what I'm saying? But you're not gonna be like I know you're gay. Like, no, it's like, when you're ready, come out, but like let me know,
It's not because of like you're pregnant because you're wearing baggy shirts all of a sudden.
Yeah, shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like it's like, okay, if you see a girl obviously, getting a round belly, it's most likely going to be that she's pregnant. If she's getting fat and you say she's pregnant and she gets mad, I mean, hey, you should have said nothing. You shouldn't have said nothing, but, I don't know, it's just, you just don't, you don't make it awkward. You don't try to really ask them. You just, whenever they're ready to come out. Or if they never, like, come out, I guess, but you start seeing them with their boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna judge them either way. You know?
Just treat them like normal, just like normal. You know, so
you gotta make sure they bring a side dish though. They can't just come over. Just for the inflation.
Nah, just that. You know, it's just more of, I guess, if someone is gay or someone is lesbian. I mean, I feel like you do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, unless you're just in such denial that you just don't want to see it, but I mean, you could just tell, but.
And I love that now that everybody is, I feel like we're all living for the people who fought for us to be here. Because like if we didn't have like the progression that we've had so far, I don't think I'd be sitting here with you guys. I think I'd probably be locked in my room, scared away to talk to anybody, because I'm like, no one can smell this on me. No one can hear that I am or have these thoughts or anything too, because Lord knows what they'll do to me. So,
that's just, but I mean, that is how, I mean, it really was though. You know, like I told you the other day, this is weird. Like before, I mean, even like in high school, like we had two gay dudes and they didn't like each other. Like they hated each other. It was like, bro, like, you guys are more. I was like, bro, you guys are more territorial than like Bloods and Crips. Like, bro, you guys want your sides. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and so your wife was the neutral ground between us, because like me and him, we would butt heads from like freshman year until like, I want to say early senior year.
Oh, really?
And then we were just like, why do we have beef with each other? And it's like, we couldn't remember why we had beef.
Yeah, it was just
so we were just like, okay, we're friends now. So we were friends, and then he did his thing with his schooling, moved to Seattle and Washington, did all his stuff too, and I was still here. And then we reconnected, and now we're back to being best friends. And it's just like, me and him are like so close that it's just like, why did we hate each other in high school? It makes no sense.
Maybe it was, how can I say it? I don't know. Like now you look at it, you're like, shit, bro. Like we could have been holding it down and like actually like supporting one another and actually like presented ourselves a little better or whatever, and like actually united and started something that could have actually benefited us years later. But that's what I'm saying. Like the other day, I heard this dude. I think actually, I think it was Kevin Gates. Like it's like with like he was talking about like people were saying why like something about why don't you support Black Lives Matter? Yeah. And he said like, well, who supports Black Lives Matter? He's like, not us, because we're out here killing each other. So like who's supporting it? We're not like like he was pretty much saying like them as black people they're not supporting it, so why do other people have to support it? You know, like they're killing each other in the streets anyways. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he was saying. He's like, and then he even went on to say like my music is hated on by black people. He's like, not even other, like not Mexicans, not white people, not Chinese people, all of them. He's like, the most like comments of hate that I get are from black people. And you guys want me to be like cool about like the community and stuff. He's like, we just hate each other so much for for no reason. Well, we're not united. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense too. Because like even like being half black myself too, it's like we can't be support something if we're not representing what we want, our rights for. And that's why like when we go to Pride and everything too, like we're out there dancing and everything too, but we're making a message. It's like we're here because we are proud of ourselves.
No, for sure.
We want you guys to say, hey, like you know what, you guys have your safe space. You guys appreciate this community too. My train of thought just left.
No, I think just like I said earlier, just the support, because going back to what he was saying, like how there's a lot of races that don't support each other as much as we think they should. But the community that, the LGBT, they support a lot. And, going downtown, you see a whole lot of activities now going on. And I think that's progressively growing in this, and especially in Denver. It's starting to get big. I know they do a whole parade now. Yeah. I remember it wasn't like that when I graduated high school, but now it's like that every year. So.
And there's a lot of flags, like the pride flags hanging off of houses now. Before, that was not a thing at all. Like, even in my neighborhood that I moved to, like, you would think it's like really uppity, like, because it's HOA and they're like, you gotta follow these rules. They have pride flags. You see them on so many houses and it's like, okay, cool. And then what really like touched my heart was that they had a pride flag up for June and it was just a normal family. Husband, wife, kids.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And it's like, cool, thank you guys for showing us that you guys support us and like making us safe. You guys don't always have to do that. Like some people are just like, why do we gotta display it? And it's like, okay, it's on display. It's just
not necessarily a display, but it's like when you see us having a rally or you see us having our event, respect us. Let us be like that. Like literally, that's what people don't understand. Like bro, instead of saying something that's obnoxious or anything, like with you just respecting and leaving them alone, letting them do what they want to do, that's enough for them. Like,
That's
just
a
leave them
good
alone.
deal.
Yeah, like just
There's no reason to go at them for no reason.
Yeah.
There's no reason.
Yeah, like just if they're not bothering you, why are you gonna go bother them? Like just leave them alone.
Yeah.
Because it does remind me when you were just mentioning things too. So we were at my friend's birthday party / going away, and there was a guy that we went to high school with too, who was, you know, we thought was straight.
Yeah.
And so the party too, when we found out he came out of, you know, after we graduated high school, he came to both of us and was like, "Thank you guys for being the, you know, gays that walked so we could run." And I was just like, "Well, thanks for not wanting to share the pain that we all had to go through."
No.
Okay, cool. I'm like, I'm glad that I was able to be who I was to clear that path for you to come through and be who you are.
That's awesome.
Because now he's been with his boyfriend, I want to say 3 or 4 years, and they've been traveling the world and everything too, just enjoying life. And he's like, I feel so much more free now.
That's awesome.
And
That's
I'm like,
good.
see, when you're
Well, yeah,
just
he hit a
yourself-
lie throughout the whole high school. Like, it's,
Yeah, and especially I feel like with high school, especially because our high school was so small, word traveled like you could
Yeah.
whisper in one class, and before passing period like even started,
yeah,
everyone knew.
I remember those days.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was crazy. So, and I think that's like a lot of issues now is people don't want to say anything about who they're anything to because they don't want the word to travel fast.
For
Because
sure.
you could put anything on social media and you think people are gonna be watching, but if it's something negative or could be, you know, impactful or harmful to you, they're gonna spread it like wildfire.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people aren't gonna like go, you know, buy things from your small business, but if they get something that's chaotic and dramatic and like not like on them, they'll put it out there and make sure everyone knows.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's the thing, like, I think it's good, you know, that you're comfortable with yourself and that, I guess in a way that, like you said, you do get your month, which, I mean, even though it's a month, I know it's still not enough for you guys, you know, because it's like, I can only do this for a month and then come July, all of a sudden I start getting, like, I can't be doing certain things or,
Yeah.
you know, like, you don't feel as free as you do,
I
like,
think June is like our like, okay, it's our time to like let loose a little bit, let our hair down. And then the other 11 months, we're like, okay, we gotta fight, we gotta advocate, we gotta make sure our
Yeah.
voices are there too. So
Kind of like a little break, would you say? Like
yeah,
a break.
like kind of like a summer vacation
Just have
of
a break,
like
yeah.
us, you know, working, and then even in June too, we're still working. Like
do,
you know, protect trans kids, you know, make sure everybody's getting tested, and you know, talking to your state representatives for legislation that's, you know, harmful to us. So it's a lot more work, but I think in June we just bring in the celebration for it.
That's
No.
awesome. That's good. Always a good time to celebrate.
No, that's good, man. And I was gonna bring this up too, like, cause like, we were talking about how, you know, what I was saying about Kevin Gates, how with black people and stuff. But like, even with Mexicans, I think, like, when you're part of a Mexican family, or not necessarily your whole family, but there is like, or just Mexicans in general, I guess I should say, like, there is some families, and I don't really feel that about mine, but there's families that like, or not families, but there's other Mexican people that look at you that like that they don't root for you. Like, even though like I see Mexicans coming here from Mexico and like they're doing so well, but like some people that come here like with them or whatever, they look at them and they're just like hoping for their downfall. And it's weird because like you would think like, you know, what they struggled to get here, and sometimes it's more of like people that are actually legal here, like Mexican Americans, like when they see another like a Mexican that's here illegally like striving, I feel like they hate on them. It's like, bro, like they went through all that shit. Why are you hating on them? Like
Right.
you just because they came here, like they're literally busting their ass to get to where they're at.
And I
You
appreciate that.
like you lived here
Yeah.
and you got your education. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have to struggle. You didn't hopefully they didn't have to struggle, but you know, either way, they had a better like foundation than when these guys came, you know. And it's like it's crazy to see how much hate there is towards that. Like,
Yeah.
I know, right? Even
and it's weird though because like I said, they want to talk about like white people being racist and this and that, but like, bro, it's like within your own race that you guys are hating each other more than the rest of the world,
Yeah.
bro. Like if you really look at it, like why do black people and Mexicans not like each other? Or like in school, you know what I'm saying? Like why? Like I hung out with a lot of black dudes too, you know, playing basketball and just chilling with them. But I always thought about it like we don't like each other because like of the perception that the news has of it, or you know the perception that like the top people want us to have of each other. Like there's literally no reason to like not like each other. You know,
exactly.
Like we pretty much. In a way, we kind of grew up the same way, you know what I'm saying? But we all grew up kind of in the hood, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, just to come out of it and not like each other, it's like, bro, like, you live 2 blocks from me, like, why don't you?
That's
like,
the thing.
What's the beef with me?
trying to piggyback off that, I know that like the news, the big news media, they like to put out this agenda that it's a war, a race war.
Yeah.
And I told like even my girlfriend and our friend, like when I was going on Bello, I didn't care about the color of the skin or who they were or how they acted. I care about if they were good, maybe they're a cool friend or a good friend to hang out with, and be cool. If not, then I don't hang out with them.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of getting lost, especially in race. You know what I mean? I think the LGBTQs they're starting to get more, what do you call it, combined, more together with it. That's what I see. I don't know. I'm not really close to anybody that's in it. You know, I kind of see that. But as far as race, I feel like it's always a constant battle within each other.
And I feel like the system is just always going to be there because the, elites, quote unquote, just want us to see us fight. And so that way they can stay on top and in power while we're just down here making fools of ourselves.
Yeah.
And so that's why our big fight too is like, hey, we all need to come together. Like even when we're not doing, LGBTQ stuff too, it's like, for the Mexicans and Hispanics too, we all need to come together with, for the immigration laws and immigration reform. And then blacks, we're still being targeted racist by, police and the workplace and everything too. So it's like we have all these constant battles. We're all facing a battle. And it's from the one system.
It's just
fighting the system.
But it's because in reality, like what would happen if the Mexicans and black people finally say, like, we're cool? Like, bro, like, they could take over the country.
We can take that system down in this country.
But they're just, it's like much easier to, how can I say, it's much easier to just like, nah, I don't like you, than to like try to actually, like unite and I guess be together. But it's just crazy, bro. Like I'm saying, like, it's just like, especially like in like Los Angeles, bro, like, that's where I think it's like the biggest thing. Cause like, now I think you go to places and there's more like blacks and Mexicans living in the same neighborhoods and stuff, but like when like my dad lived out there and stuff, it was like literally like a Mexican couldn't go to that neighborhood or the black people would jump him. If the black people went to his neighborhood, they would jump him or like it was like that's just the way it was out there, bro. And it's crazy to hear stories like that. Like damn, bro, like here I could walk on the same street as a black dude, and we're cool with nothing gonna happen, Like it's just different worlds, bro. But I don't know. I just think the world is just there's so much like judgment on people now, and just so much stuff going on, bro. Like it just in general, whether it's race, versus the LGBTQ, whether it's immigration, bro. Like it's just there's so many more problems than there is like solutions in the world, bro. And it's just
definitely.
Like it's how can I say it's just tiring already, bro, and like stressful for everybody because like when is at least one of these problems gonna be solved, bro? Because at this point, just next year, what's the problem gonna be? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like when it was COVID, bro, like no bullshit, like the way they were treating like Chinese people about it, bro, like people don't realize that, but that's bad. You know what I'm saying? And then
still don't figure out where it came from. So it's like
because
one person said, "Oh, Chinese had it."
They just
don't know where it came from.
It's just more problems, bro. Instead of trying to fix one thing, like 10 more things come out, and it's like, bro, like. It just doesn't feel like we're ever gonna get away from actual hate and all that stuff. And
that's a big thing, big problem in this world now. It's a lot of hate. You see it through obviously the big outlets, the news, social media. There's a lot of hate for no reason, and on each other. You know what I mean? Family. It's crazy. It's crazy how much hate you see. And I think every day I just try to live the best life as I can because I don't want to get caught up in that hate. You know what I mean? There was no reason for me to hate one person just because the way they are, the way they look. You know what I mean? I think that's a big factor in life that every day in life, everyone in life should be doing. You know what I mean? Just go through it day by day, live your happy life. Do whatever makes you happy. Don't be stressed and worry about trying to target somebody or trying to attack a certain group or attack someone or from another country or whatever. You know what I mean? Just live your best life. I know the media's kind of feeding it to our heads, but at the end of the day, you should not get caught up in that. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people do. Sucks to say, but there's a lot of people. You see that it gets to their head a little bit, and obviously they're more vocal about it,
That's why sometimes I turn the news off, because I'm an old man at heart. I like to watch my news in the morning. But sometimes too, like some of the stories, you're just like, this is mentally draining. And like even during COVID, like it was the worst time for me for like my anxiety, just because it was like, I don't know, like what this virus is gonna do to anybody. But then too, we can't go around people, and I'm just like, I'm not used to this. Like I was always the one, like if someone had an event, I'm showing up, or like our family would get together, I would always be there.
Yeah, that was a big issue. That was a big hurdle. And then I was it was just the unknown.
Yeah, and so like being anxious and watching the news, like just spew like everything at you, and you're just like, okay, this is making me sick.
Yeah. That's true.
And then even now, like, I'm past like that whole anxious mark of COVID, but it's like now you see the news and it's like everyone's just so hateful. There's like, you know, police killings and so much brutality. You just get sick and you're just like, what is this the world? And then you just hate the world and everybody's like, oh, the world's so ugly, like this is what the world is. And it's like, it doesn't have to be this. We can easily just leave each other alone.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And when just do the best side they can.
That's the thing though, they just like poking the bear, bro. It's like, man, just leave them alone, man. Just let them be. Like, I don't know, we all have our problems, you know? And we already have enough to deal with. And it shouldn't feel like the world's just crushing down on just one person or one group of people, you know? It's just, in a way, just everybody let everybody be, you know, let them be who they want to be.
And if we all just, like I said, or like we all said, just support each other, not just like for our own personal growth too, financial health, goals, personal goals, relationship goals, you know, as long as we're all on the same page and going through every day, living life happy, I think that's all that matters, you know. And it's, like we said, the world is just a weird, a lot of hatred in this world for no reason.
And that's why I kind of, like, I try to kind of be with my family, like, I like kind of showing them, like, just, you know, be who you are, and that's it, you know. Like, if someone in my family came out or, like, you know, and said, you know, I'm gay or lesbian, and someone else in the family was like, nah, I'll be like, man, bro, like, well, fuck you, bro, like, they just, that's balls, bro, like, what are you talking about, like that, them just coming out, that takes balls, and it's like, nah, don't be that person. Like,
and that's what's, like, bizarre to me, is, like, we're just being with our person we chose to be our lifelong companion.
Yeah.
Just like if someone chose to be their wife or their husband, we're doing the same thing, but because it's the same sex, world's on fire. You know, this is the issue, this is the problem, we don't accept you, you can't be in this family. And
there's so much more shit wrong with the world.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, or problems in the world, I should say. And it's like, bro,
like we have poverty, kids can't afford school lunches, kids are being beaten, abused, women are too, and it's like, you guys are focusing on who kisses who.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense. Like, we should be helping each other, uplifting, and
the last thing I want to say though, I think when it comes to, again, like just going back to everything we talked about and going back into the trans life, I don't feel like, my thing is when a man, like specifically when a man tries to be, you know, transsexual woman, I feel like if you respect like women enough, or you know, or like just if you respect women enough, I feel like you as a man, women are so powerful. They have so much to, like, I mean, like I said, a woman can make another me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there's 3 of me's, so like there's no way like a man can ever be a woman, you know, whether, I mean, if that's how they want to identify, but like there's so much more to a woman. Like, to me, they're just so powerful, you know what I'm saying? Like, without women, we're not here, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so much to them, and I think that's the thing for me. That's kind of why, like I said, I'm not anti-trans or nothing, but I feel like they degrade, I guess, women when they try to think it's easy to be a woman, because there's so much more to being a woman, you know what I'm saying? It's not just because you have the hair, because, you know, you have the physical features. It's like, dude, women go through so much, and there's so much more to it. And like, I guess, like I said, I'm not against it, but it's just, for me, I don't want it to get to the point. I think that's where it's getting to, is it feels like in a way they degrade women, because like a man thinks, like the value of a woman is very like powerful, I guess, and it's just like being a woman to me is like probably the hardest thing in the world, you know what I'm saying? Because they got to go through a lot already. I think before we talked about race, before we talked about the LGBTQ community, I feel like women were more judged than anybody. They can't do certain things because right away it's like, oh, you're a girl, you can't do that, or, you know. I mean, there's just, like I said, there's been problems constantly throughout history, but again, like, that's like my final take on that. On trans is just, I don't ever want to feel like I said, I support them, but at the same time, it's like, don't degrade women for what they are, because women are so powerful, you know. And I think that's all I'm saying, is more of, I don't like the degrading of women in a sense, because they think just because, again, they have the hair, they have the physical features, that they're women. Like, nah, there's so much more to that, you know.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I'm glad you spoke on that too, because I feel like a lot of people do feel that way, that they're like, women are powerful, and there's a lot of people who respect women, even though women are still probably way more disrespected than anything in this world. They don't want the value of a woman to be depreciated.
Yeah.
Because like even like my mom too, like she held us all the way down. Like even when she lost her job in the recession in 2008, she figured it out for all of us.
Yeah.
Like one income, 3 grown boys, and they had to figure out how to pay bills. She hustled, found her way, and kept everybody safe, sound, and the boat flowing. And even to this day too, they're still like, you know, in a better position. But without my mom, forget about it. Like we wouldn't be who we are. And that's not to say, you know, dads who do it on their own or anything too. But like you said, to like, you know, support you in your point of view too. It's like women are powerful.
Yeah, just something that women have this strength, this like, it's such a how do I say it? I'm trying to say it the right way. They have such a lot of strength in their body and their will to keep going in life. You know, like, you know, going through a lot of my life, I see my mom and I see my sister, you know, they go through so much, and every day they're still here, they're still present, they're still, you know, doing whatever makes them happy, you know, and that's just, it kind of just shows how strong women are, you know, because I look at them too. And obviously my girlfriend, you know, I'm starting to see more and more of her, you know, and her family, her sisters and her mom, you know, just a lot I see, you know. I kind of agree that women are just so, there's something different about, like, especially a mom figure. So they have that strength and that that love that, you know, that they're always gonna have, you know what I mean? So
and it's
I
just
agree.
You look, I mean, it's just, I mean, it's like the perceptions, like, I mean, I don't know, some people might think it's weird, but if you look at like animals, bro, like literally, like who's the one that protects their babies is the mother, bro. Like the mother is the most ferocious thing out there, bro. Like you don't want to mess with the cub if, like, you know, if you know the mom's close, because they're gonna come after you, you know, attack you with all they got. Yeah. As a mother though, bro, like a mother's gonna do everything for their kid. That's why I said, you know, like, again, that's the biggest thing for me is, and like again, it's just the message is, you know, if you're gonna be a trans or whatever, it's just more of, you know, just don't ever think it's easy being a woman. You know, it's like don't degrade them in any way. Don't think that it's, like I said again, it's there's so much more to it. It's not just how you look, but, you know, the things that women do, bro, and the things women go through that, you know, is why they're, you know, how as powerful as they are.
Definitely, for sure.
But yeah, man, I mean,
thank you for
coming
on.
Bro.
Yeah.
I thought it would be a lot scarier than this.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, no, I just come on and have each other's perspective on life. You know, and that's what we said at the beginning. We want to have a.
But obviously, with it being June and being obviously Pride Month for you guys, like, you know, it's a good time to kind of have a conversation, open it up a little bit, and just because I know, you know, there's family, you know, that I hope, you know, feels more comfortable coming out and, you know, being yourself, because, I mean, especially in my family, like, don't ever feel like you can't be yourself, you know what I'm saying? Especially around me, like, I don't care. And if someone else has something to say, then, you know, just know I got your back regardless. You know, you be who you are. It's easier to be who you are. It's a lot more stress when you're trying to hide, you know, who you are. And I think it's more of, you know, we got to let them know, you know, like, no matter how hard it is for them, or no matter how they feel the world's going to treat them, you know, that they have to feel that you always have their back, you know, because if not, it's, you know, they got to start somewhere. They got to feel support from somewhere. And the minute they feel someone has their back, maybe they gives them the courage to finally be who they want to be, you know.
For sure.
And I'll pay it forward.
That's awesome. Good message.
But thank you.
Yeah, thank you again.
Bro.
Appreciate you.
Thank you again. Appreciate it.
See you guys next time.
Catch y'all next time.
Guys.